Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with your Screenwriter's Rant on Monsters of Man. New movie coming out. It's kind of a Terminator thing. Not Terminator, but kind of Terminator, if you know what I mean. Premise of the movie is they build some robots, and this is actually happening in the U.S. government. They're actually building sort of remote control robots. It's called Monsters of Man, and so you see the robots. They jump out of the plane. They got parachutes. I assume they have parachutes, and they end up at some. I'm going to assume South American country because all the jungles, and for some reason the village is full of these actors. No, they're not actors, but they look a lot like actors. I mean, they're all relatively good-looking people, and they don't look like locals. So I'm not exactly sure who they're supposed to be as characters because they don't really introduce us them in the trailer. They're just the people the robots are trying to kill. And I gotta say, the robots are pretty menacing. I mean, this is a fairly well, I shouldn't say fairly, but it's a more realistic depiction of kind of where the technology is as opposed to the Terminator, which was, you know, more futuristic. This seems like fairly possible, or not too far from, where we are now, and that's what sort of makes them ominous. They're kind of ruthless, but this is a low budget movie, so they're gonna be, they'll kill people, but like it'll be like, oh wait, you know, they make mistakes or they don't see people, and really a robot with the right technology, there'd be no way you could get away from it if it moved like this. But so here's a robot throwing a guy. But there's a scene where I guess one of the robot and he kills this guy, and his son cries over him. Here he is chasing this woman, and then this guy is in it. I forget this guy's name, but he's a character actor. He always plays kind of a bad guy, like a bad corporate guy. Like he's the corporate guy, I assume, who is, yeah, get these robots to kill everybody because that's gonna make me money somehow. That guy. So that it. I don't know if I pay to see it. Maybe like if it was on Netflix or something. I mean, it definitely looks low budget because other than that guy, I don't recognize any of the actors. And did they spend some money on it? I can't tell. Maybe they spent a little. It's kind of hard to figure out where they are. But the robots do look pretty menacing. And yeah, there he is. This guy's scenes, I can't find him now. That guy's scenes were probably all shot in the same 2 days. But it does look like they spent a little bit of money. And there's a scene, not this one, towards the end. Oh, it's between the robot and him. He's kind of torturing him because he sees his tattoo and recognizes what it is. And the robot's asking him about, they're kind of having a scene like, well, your tattoo is a soldier of death, and well, you're a robot, you're a soldier of death. Well, but I'm alive, I'm a man, like that kind of scene where they talk about humanity, which you don't get in Terminator. And I think one of the robots turns on its creator somehow, like one of the guys reprograms it or whatever. So, the robots look menacing. I'll give it that. I don't recognize any of the actors, but it doesn't mean they're bad. Let's see. I see how it's available. It's going to be on Apple TV, Amazon, Google Play, Microsoft, Xbox, YouTube, and Vimeo on demand. So this is the new way we see movies now. Not in the theater. I don't know if I'd pay for this movie. Be a tough call. I'd have to see the reviews from somebody who actually watched it. I mean, it looks okay. This is the kind of movie I would watch like on demand on Comcast when like they'd have a bunch of sort of B movies that were free, or if I ran out of movies and TV shows I liked on Netflix, I'd eventually get to a movie like this and go, all right, I'll give it a chance. I have a feeling there's a lot of scenes with characters talking and no robots killing each other. that's kind of like a lot of these movies. I think are a lot of wind up because they don't want to do too much robots because the robots are expensive to look good. So they only want to do so much of it, and you can get sick of it too. But you know, I think the robots look really. The robots look like the best part of the film, quite frankly. I don't know if that's a good sign. I'm not keyed into the story, so I think this is the kind of movie that would suck you in on the trailer because the trailer looks menacing. But ultimately, I don't know if the actual movie would sustain 90 minutes. I would hope it was a tight 90 minutes and not something that like clunked on to like 2 hours. So I think that would be too much of this. But typical themes of what is it to be human? I am killing people. I am sad. Oh no, I want to become human. I will save the humans now. Like that kind of thing. So I don't know. Maybe you want to give this movie a chance. See how many screenwriters it had. Story by Mark Toyoa, who directed it. Written by Jeff Hand and Mark Toyoa. Yeah, so produced by Mark Toyota. He put his name in a lot. Directed by Mark Toyota. Executive producer Carolyn Toya. Toya, maybe. Maybe that's how you pronounce it. So keeping it in the family. And they got a website, monstersofman.movie. Oh, there's a .movie now. Let's see if I recognize any of the names of the actors. Presenting, I don't know any of those guys. But I know that one actor. I don't recognize any of the names. I don't know his name. I recognize him, but I don't remember his name. But anyhow, I mean, you can probably do a lot worse. And it's from High Octane. Or at least they're one of the people who worked on it. Man, there's just so many people working on these movies now. And there's no theaters. No theaters. This would probably never get in a theater anyway. It'd probably go direct to something like a Netflix or whatever. But I'll say this. It's an effective trailer. I think the trailer is effective. I think most people will watch that trailer and go, oh, that looks pretty cool. I think it takes, with a more discerning eye, you'd realize, or if you watched it more than once, you'd come to realize that they don't mention any of the characters' names, and they don't really mention what the story's about. And although you can sort of surmise it from what's in the trailer, they're not really telling you like what country they're in, why the robots are coming to this particular area in the jungle, which of the characters are the natives of that country, why the robots are there just killing people. I mean, are they there just to kill everybody? They gotta have more of a reason than that. So, Monsters of Man.